It's weird to me. It's absolutely weird to me. How people just keep on consistently just doubting this man. Not even, what he would necessarily do in the ring, but doubting his testicular fortitude, and doubting his mental fitness. It's just weird to me. But the guy who went into a binge, a year plus long binge, who supposedly has all these mental health issues, no one's worried about him though. He's good. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be straight. There's nothing to worry about when it comes to him. But the guy who's showed nothing of that, who's shown pretty much nothing but focus and nothing but discipline, forget in boxing and life. In life, taking care of what he had to take care of when he ended up having a daughter who had physical issues, not going into the streets, understanding what can happen over there, doing 2-3 jobs, stacking up the money from that, understanding this not gonna get her what she needs in order to be good for the rest of her life. So switching to boxing late, making the Olympic team, getting a bronze medal, turning pro, beating fight after fight after fighter, becoming a champion in a fight where everybody said he was going to lose. Wins that bout. Takes on the boogeyman in Ortiz. Almost gets stopped, but finds a way to become victorious. Then takes on a Tyson Fury. Pretty much losing on the cards. Comes back, gets knockdowns, and freaking ends up getting out of there with a draw in a fight that he should have got W because he put that man out. But doing that in that particular situation. Then the man comes back and fights this dude that almost had just knocked you out. You go fight Ortiz again. And then after that, and after the Tyson Fury fight, he's sitting there, yeah, let's do the rematch. Willing to sign, let's do it again. And everybody doubting him. Oh, he's not going to want to fight him again. Andre Ward, oh, he's not going to fight him again. Let's see Joshua versus Fury. Because Wilder's not going to want to go through that again. And it turned out at that particular time, Tyson Fury was the one who didn't want to go through with it. He wanted a couple of more tune-up fights, before doing that fight again. This same guy, and after that fight was done and he loses his belt, gets stopped, the ref stops the fight, doesn't quit in there like another dude did. He fights, willing to go down on the shield. Actually, the ref didn't stop it. His corner did throw in the towel. He almost fired a dude for doing that too. But he kept going, and he was willing to, lay down on that shield. And in doing so, after the fight, he didn't take months upon months upon months. As soon as he could say, I want that fight again. Let's do it again. And the only thing that kept that fight from happening next month is the fact that we have the things that are going on right now. But he's willing to do what's necessary in order to try to get his belt back. No step aside money, no nothing. He's saying, let's go. Yet for some reason, people still want to doubt this man's testicular fortitude. They still want to doubt his mental strength. He's given everybody absolutely no reason to do so. Because a loss doesn't do anything, doesn't do that. People have losses. People have gotten knocked out, came back, and won fights. And won championships. So it's not that. We've seen people do that time and time again. Eventually, especially if you're a heavyweight, you're going to catch a loss. I mean, that's just what it is. And they always say it's about how you bounce back. And forget there even being the opportunity for him to show if he can bounce back or not. People automatically just writing him off. Talking about, the fight's not even going to happen. They're going to call the fight off. He's done. It's over from him. He's never going to be the same again. These are all the things that people are saying. It's crazy and it's funny to me. The man who's given everybody absolutely no reason to think so. No reason to think so. And I find it kind of funny because you'll have somebody like, let's say like a Conor McGregor, right? If you know MMA, you know when somebody quits in a fight. You don't have to tap. Not even forget even tapping out. You know when somebody quits in a fight. When you fight in MMA, what happens sometimes is that a guy's losing, right? But he doesn't. Obviously, he needs to get out of the fight. So he'll end up putting himself into a position where he can get choked out, where somebody has a hook on him or something like that. He'll give up that position, where you can tell that the position wasn't taken, it was given up, so he could then just end the fight. So then he could tap out and say, oh my gosh, he got on my neck and he choked me. But people know that's not what happened. They know he wasn't fighting it. They know he wasn't trying to get away with it, get out of it. They know that he gave up in that particular fight. If you know MMA, anybody that knows, if you don't know MMA, talk to somebody who does, and they'll tell you. And they'll be able to explain it to you. And we saw Conor McGregor do that in his first loss, where he just gave up. He quit and allowed himself to be choked out, just due to the fact that he didn't want to deal with, what he had to deal with in that ring. He didn't want to take it to that other level. He was done, and he quit in that particular fight, right? Whatever, he got knocked or whatever, but he quit in that fight. Next fight comes up, right? Fights Diaz again. And he's running around the ring. There was one point where he actually turned around and actually ran. Like how they say running, like he literally did it. Yet no one questioned his testicular fortitude. People thought he could beat the likes of Floyd Mayweather. People thought he could beat the likes of Floyd Mayweather. One of the greatest boxers to ever fight in the history of man. Goes in there, gets stopped in that fight. Right? Gets stopped in that fight, gets another championship fight coming up. And everybody thinks, same thing. You would think that, people would be like, yo, this dude, I don't know. That pounding that he just got, what happened in the Diaz fight, I don't know about that dude. But now it wasn't that. It was like, yeah, that's the man. Oh yeah, that's the man right there. And in the fight in that championship fight, you saw him quit pretty much again in that fight. He quits in that fight. When things get tough for that man, he gets that look in his eyes, and it's over. Even after that, people aren't talking about him being mentally weak. People aren't talking about him, not being focused. Nothing. That all the fights he's having out in bars, outside of MMA cages, all this crazy stuff that he does, and no one questions his mental fortitude. None. Zero. He's giving you reason after reason after reason after reason to. No one questions it. But somehow, he consistently questioned Deontay Wilder's. It's a shame, but it's all good though, because at the end of the day, the only thing matters is what happens in that ring when they fight next, because that fight will be happening. Wilder will not be taking any step-aside money. Wilder will not be fighting, won't be acting scared, being scared. He's going to come in there, and he's going to do everything he can to get that belt back. Fighting against one of the toughest styles he can fight. He did it before, and he'll do it again. And we'll see what happens. But my mind stays baffled with how these people consistently question what this man can do and question his mindset. Even though when this comes to him, time and time again, he showed how mentally strong he truly is. But that's the world we live in. It is what it is. Like, subscribe. I'm out.